more sadistic than a FromSoft visual, more annoying than Fortnite streamers, and more hilarious than my attempts at flirting. Today's Mech Tech has everything you need to get in, get out, and make your enemies miserable the entire time. If you have a need to play hyper-aggressively, inflict serious conditions alongside heat and armor penetration, the Manticore has it all for you. I'm talking teleportation, self-inflicted heat, electrocution,
the destruction of terrible enemies are all.
burnt ozone air fresheners, and a penchant for pandemonium. This mech is the equivalent of a 500 kilogram bomb on legs, supercharged with lightning, all while you get to giggle like a madman, listening to your opponent's cry for mercy. But before moving on, remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're feeling really zesty. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of July, so any help is appreciated. Today's Mech Tech will cover the volatile, the hilarious, and oh so reckless Manticore mech, plus some of the goodies that come along with it. So strap in, put on your rubber gloves, and try not to explode. So the Manticore can be best described as insane, both in fighting style, system upgrades, sanity, and base abilities. All of these things point to a lack of real mental stability when designing or piloting this mech. As many people might see and freak out about, the Manticore's main goal is to blow up and act like it don't know nobody. The ability in question is Castigate the enemies of the Godhead. When you rest or perform a full repair, you can push the Manticore into an unstable castigation state, or bring it out of one. In this state, the Manticore explodes immediately when destroyed due to damage or a reactor meltdown, vaporizing it and killing you and any other passengers instantly. Characters in a burst 2 radius must succeed on an agility save or take 8d6 explosive damage. On a success they take half, but this only happens if you are physically present within the Manticore. The Manticore doesn't just happen to blow up in this instance, you have to want to blow up like this. With effects like the unstable system, when destroyed, the Manticore explodes as per a reactor meltdown at the end of its next turn, which makes the Castigate the Enemies of the Godhead ability far more reliable. That means you don't actually have to self-destruct as an action, it's sort of built into the mech's economy, allowing you to decide, after significant damage, if you would wish to retreat, or if a big kaboom is the way to go. Now, normally I wouldn't recommend making your mech into a walking nuke with a crazy reckless battle strategy, but I mean, come on, it's super funny. I mean, think about the surprise factor on your enemy's face when they go in for their final blow. It's a critical, they skewer you with their energy sword, and you grab their arms, pull them in close like for a hug, and explode for 8d6 explosive damage. Like, I'm not saying your main goal should be to blow up every single time. I mean, you die, so I wouldn't recommend it at all, but it is a valuable tool to keep in mind when the going is getting extraordinarily rough. And furthermore, you live in a post-scarcity society in Lancer. The environment by base allows you to literally print off new mechs for free. Playing recklessly is completely okay, but new bodies, not so much. I mean, there's flash cloning, but that comes with its own set of problems. But besides this humorous way to explode, the Manticore has plenty of other boons to bring to the table if you really want to be a threat your game master has to struggle to deal with. First, on the self-damaging chopping block, we've got something insane. Something as a player, I can't help but smile at. First up is the beckoner. With a beckon action, it allows you to take a invade tech attack. Now first, to clear up some of the air, a tech attack happens within sensor range. So for the Manticore, that's a pretty hearty 10 sensors. And next, on a successful tech attack, you actually inflict 2 heat on the target, and it allows you to pick one of the following secondary effects. There's 2 normally, but this is a third option the Manticore gets. The option is you can take 1d6 plus 2 AP energy damage, and swap places with your target, both characters teleporting to the other's position. Your target must be a mech and be the same size as you or larger, or this action fails. Characters can only be swapped to spaces that they can normally stand in or move on, i.e. if a character cannot fly, they cannot be swapped in midair. This is a ridiculously crazy strong ability, allowing you to bring a target in close or keep a target away from a squishy ally. The AP energy damage that's inflicted on you is quite a bit, especially considering the mid HP of 8 for the Manticore. But the fact remains that even then, moving a target into a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad position is insanely good. Not to mention that all targets within Burst 3 are actually drawn in closer to the original teleported target, allowing you to teleport a target into a series of other mechs, draw those mechs in closer, and allow artillery allies to really put on the hurt with splash damage. There is so much teamwork, chaos, and raw power oozing from this ability, I cannot express how much I'm smiling right now. But I hear ya. Maybe utility really isn't your style. Maybe you just want to push forth raw damage. And might I offer you its license level 2 weapon, the Arc Projector. This range 5 1d6 plus 1 energy weapon looks pretty underwhelming at first, but don't worry, its special ability allows it to target multiple characters within range 3 in the same turn. For the low cost of 1 extra heat per target, the gun has the ability to break action economy completely and provide a barrage of blasts across the battlefield, letting you push out massive numbers across the whole table, as long as you're willing to take the heat for it. If you find hacking into mechs and making them miserable from the inside out is more your style though, look no further than the Smite mech system. Adding 2 more new tech attack options to the Manticore gives it the ability to either stun a target or apply smoldering heat to them, depending on which one you're wanting for the moment. This paired with the teleport mentioned earlier, and the standard invade tech attack actions the Manticore puts forth is just crazy against people who fail to raise their E defense. The first one, Smite, allows you to take 1d6 AP energy damage, and your target must succeed on a system save or become stunned until their next turn, although a character can only be stunned once per scene this way. The second one is Sear. You take 1d6 AP energy damage and deal 2 heat to your target for each other character of size 1 or larger that is engaged with them or adjacent to them, including you, up to a maximum of 6 heat. Both of these abilities are extremely offensively oriented. Stunning somebody or just dealing a bunch of heat to somebody is very, very good. I do not want to underestimate these abilities. But with all this stacked heat, the Manticore has a few more tricks up its spines to really make the game that much more insane. And first of all, we can talk about one of its most interesting passive abilities, that being its Charged Exoskeleton passive. Once a round, when you take heat from any source, you may deal 2 AP energy damage to a character within range 3. This allows the Manticore to weaponize the damage it's dealing to itself, with its other weapon options like the Catalyst Pistol, and plenty of mech systems that actually just apply heat to itself. You can easily be doing that extra 2 damage every single round to targets close by. But now on to the dessert, the Manticore's most helpful feature, the Slag Carapace, grants it resistance to all energy damage and all burn, allowing the Manticore to really fight stupid and go crazy on its enemies. Like, who cares if you can't move far when you can teleport? It doesn't matter that you take 2 heat or 2 AP energy damage every time you do an action, because no matter how expensive these actions end up being, your ability to make an enemy want to listen to Ed Sheeran in bed while crying about what they just saw is so worth the cost. This reckless bowling ball style playthrough of Lancer is further benefited from the destruction of the Temple of the Enemies of Ra, a protocol which allows your mech to crackle with energy, gaining resistance to heat for the rest of the scene, and earning yourself a charge dice, a 1d6, starting at 1. Whenever you take heat or energy, even from yourself, increase the value of the charge dice by 1. When the charge dice reaches 6, the absorbed energy discharges in a burst to Inferno. Characters within the affected area must succeed on an engineering save or take 6d6 AP energy damage. On a success though, they take half. Objects in the affected area are automatically hit. Once discharged, this effect ends. This ability is just perfect, giant bout, wonderful, lovely, amazing, gorgeous ability. Oh, it's just a wonderful way to close out a fight. And to think of all the fun times you can have building heat, applying these debuffs, charging this bad boy, and then teleporting right in front of the BBEG with his wonderful Vanguard, dealing 6d6 AP energy damage to all of them, and still having the time to perform a tech attack or a skirmish. This mech just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Oh, goodness. Between explosive damage output, amazing ability choices like forced teleports, conditioned inflictions, multiple attack options, and a unique playstyle, the Manticore stands alone in the crater it just made, half melted, with a maniacal laughter echoing all around. But sure, everything isn't always sunshine and daisies for the Manticore. It isn't super fast. It has a pretty low HP pool, especially considering how much damage it does to itself. It doesn't have a safe way to heal or protect itself. It doesn't have a way to get that damage off of itself. On top of that, paired with its lack of real defensive options, I can't imagine it's terribly difficult to find a matchup that the Manticore isn't going to be taking at least 1 or 2 structure damage in a fight. But honestly, the live fast, make your opponents eat grass playstyle is so humorous and energizing. You gotta play this mech as soon as you can. As they say, a candle that burns brightly goes out twice as fast. So by that philosophy, light the entire candle on fire and burn everything in your way. Hey, it's me. Hope you're enjoying these mech tanks. Me and my roommate are having a blast writing the scripts for these. I hope you appreciate them and look forward to the next ones to come. A reminder that if Lancer content is not what you're looking for, I have other content around the channel too. Between D&D Abridged, Dragon videos, and other goodies, I'm sure you can find something or another. Either way, enjoy the day, and I'll see you on the next one.